Thank you for those who are here. Just to start off, if you can see me and hear me clearly, can somebody just please type something into the chat box on the bottom left? Perfect. Thanks, Jenny. Appreciate it. Hey, so thanks so much for taking some time today to really spend some time with us, learn all about Colorado Mountain Camp. This presentation is really informal and designed to give you an opportunity, a glimpse into camp, what we're all about, meet some of our staff, learn about the programs, our expansion, and all the really great things about camp. And to start off, I would so much rather be in your home with you, hosting a house party, getting to know you and kids. But one of the really strong points about Colorado Mountain Camp is we welcome kids and staff from all over the country and all over the world. So sometimes we have to rely a little bit on technology to reach out there. So thank you again. Rather than just kind of jumping into it, with all the logistics of camp, things like that, I wanted just to give you a glimpse of what camp is all about in a very short video. As we go through the presentation, for the next 20-ish or so minutes, if you do have any questions that pop into your head, please feel free to go ahead and type them in that chat box on the bottom left, and we'll make sure to answer those for you. So here is CMC.
At Colorado Mountain Camp, we empower kids to choose active, healthy lifestyles. The outdoor activities and technical skills we teach build kids' confidence and instill sound judgment about how to approach unfamiliar or potentially risky challenges. As a result, CMC campers come away with an I-can-do-it attitude about trying new things.
Good job, you got it.
Not only at camp, but throughout their lives.
Yay! Look at that backstroke.
CMC programs are inclusive and built for kids of all abilities, not just those who identify as outdoorsy or athletic. Our curriculum is tailored to meet campers where they are, offering fresh, age-appropriate challenges from first grade all the way through their first summer job.
There's lots and lots of really cool things we're psyched to do with you guys over the next week or two.
Our younger campers get comfortable with being away from home, developing independence in the outdoors as they try new adventures like camping,
You want dinner?
rock climbing, biking, and paddling. Our older campers deepen their technical abilities in our adventure sports, but focus on building broader leadership, team building, and conflict resolution skills. We also offer a leadership development track for high school and college students that prepares them with practical skills and professional experience for wherever their life or career may take them. While our outdoor curriculum is unique, CMC is full of classic traditions. Camp songs, kitchen raids, s'mores around the campfire. These things make overnight camp unforgettable. We want our facilities to be a safe, comfortable home away from home for campers. That's why we have on-site clinics staffed with full-time nurses and serve delicious, healthy food designed to accommodate campers' dietary needs. According to CMC parents, our people are what set us apart. In addition to being tirelessly supportive and lots of fun, our staff is comprehensively credentialed and trained.
So what should we do with any trash that we have?
Most of our instructors are over 21 with wilderness first aid certifications, experience teaching our sports, and a deep love of the outdoors. At Colorado Mountain Camp, kids develop into stronger, more confident, more connected individuals. And we can't wait to welcome yours to the CMC family.
Great. So hopefully that gave you a little glimpse into the magic of what camp is all about. I saw your message there, Sam, about the volume. If any of you did experience some volume issues, that video can be found on YouTube as well as our website. And I do encourage you to watch that with your kiddos and let them see what camp is all about. So moving on, we have a short period of time, so I really want to kind of highlight what differentiates CMC from all of the other resident camps out there. And when I talk to parents, there are three main things that come into mind. So the first being positive risk taking. This is something we take very seriously, and the goal is to really push your child. We want to expand their comfort zones and make them uncomfortable in some of the activities that we do, and really think about when you were a child and what your playgrounds look like. You had sharp metal playground equipment, no padding on the ground, and if the sun was out, you definitely couldn't go on the slide, and we survived fine. And nowadays, things are so padded that kids have lost their sense of grit. We want them to learn that there is positive outcomes and benefits for taking risks, whether they succeed or fail. And that's a huge part of our program. The second part is our safety-minded focus. So prior to every activity that we do, our staff lead an environmental and a risk management briefing with the kiddos. So our job is to make sure that if they go back and they want to take their family hiking or camping or biking, they can do so in a very safe way and they know how to do it properly. And then the last is our incredible staff. So our staff are really what makes our program the best that it can be. So we, again, as mentioned in the video, highly credentialed, a little bit older. So our average age in 2016 was 24 years old. Every single staff member is background checked on a state and federal level and run through the National Sex Registry. And in addition, there are some minimum certifications and trainings that staff come in with in addition to what we teach them at camp. So that includes wilderness first aid, CPR, defensive van driver training, small craft safety and basic water rescue for canoeing and kayaking, and leave no trace instructor, among many others. And part of that is we want to give the staff, not only find the right staff, but give them the tools to be as successful as possible with your children. So we do run a 14-day intensive staff training, which does cover topics like homesickness, behavior, inclusivity, tolerance, much more. And we go above and beyond industry standards, so much so that in 2015 and 2016, we were rated as one of Outside Magazine's best places to work in the United States. So the way that our program works is a few years ago, we sat down with a bunch of parents and we asked them, we said, camp is an investment. What do you want to see? What are the desired outcomes and benefits from sending your child away for a week or two? And from that, we were able to come up with kind of our program focuses for each of the different grade levels, which we build our curriculum around. So for first graders and our younger guys, parents are really looking for comfort outdoors and being away from home. As you move up in the program, we focus a lot on independence and comfortability, teamwork and communication, conflict resolution, decision making. And although these are the program focuses, there's a bit of that sprinkled throughout every program that we operate. So for canoeing, for example, a canoeing program for a second to fourth grader is all about being comfortable in a new environment, comfortable in a wide open alpine lake in a shaky canoe where they're kind of nervous, being independent, being in a kayak by themselves. Where canoeing for fourth to sixth graders focuses more on teamwork and communication. So setting up obstacle courses, a little bit harder rescues, they really have to communicate effectively. But however, one of the threads that runs through all of these programs is really the development of these lifelong friendships. And that's what camp is all about. And so while we're here to make sure the kids learn and understand these really great outdoor skills, we really want them to make friends that are going to last a lifetime. So a few of the activities that campers get to participate in at both of our locations are listed in front of you here, and this is just a small list. So in addition to our core sports of canoeing, kayaking, stand-up paddleboarding, rock climbing, mountain biking, and expeditions, there's plenty of opportunity to take on some additional activities, so including arts and crafts, navigation, slacklining, log rolling, challenge course, all camp activities, ceremonies, crazy campfires, and more. While we do have our core sports, we also do have some differentiating activities. So if your child comes to camp for 3, 4, 5 years, we want it to be a very different experience for them every single year that they're there. So we do offer some activities unique to individual grade groups, which build upon the foundation from the previous summer. So in addition to all sports, as well as additional activities, archery and arts and crafts, things like that, some campers do have the opportunity to do fly fishing, horseback riding, tree climbing, sailing, rafting, zip lining, and so much more. And so the list grows every year. So for 2017, a lot of the parents have asked, what can we expect that's new? We got a couple of great things. So we are offering for the first time ever a 1-week single sport expedition backpacking program, which will be at our Mount Evans location for our fourth. So this is a really great opportunity for those who are interested in backpacking and kind of more the nitty-gritty of it, to really spend an entire week out up in Wyoming in the backcountry. We also have a revised educator and training program for those campers who are aging out of our team leadership program, and an adventure education internship. So we're really developing a leadership development program for kids. So, the goal is first camp to first job. We want these kiddos to experience camp and everything, about CMC, and then work their way up to become staff. And, our best staff are previous campers who understand the program, who understand the risks, who understand everything about it. And one of the things that is brand new that we're very, very excited about this year is the addition of a second location called Mount Evans, which is in Evergreen. So new location and new leadership. So really to accommodate the growing number of kiddos we have and the growing number of camps, we definitely need more leadership place. So I'm not going anywhere. I'm still a part of the resident camp team, and we'll be there at both locations to make sure everything's running smooth, meet the kids, meet the parents, make sure everybody's happy. But we have now hired 2 brand new directors that we're super psyched on. And having those 2 directors is going to help us continue knowing each family on a very individual level, as well as every single child at camp. It's not really, exciting to have tons and tons of families that the director may never get the opportunity to speak with. And so we want to know every single person on an individual level. And not only do we have the new leadership coming in place, but we have a really large staff retention rate. So many of the familiar faces from the past, including our chefs and our nurses and our staff, are returning. So with a return rate of over 50%, your campers can feel right at home. All right, so as far as where your campers go, we're splitting up the locations by grade level, and essentially into an upper camp and to a lower camp. So our Mount Evans location in Evergreen, so it's about an hour from Denver Golden area, will house our first grade mini camp, our second to fourth grade 1-week program, fourth to sixth grade 2-week program, and our fourth to sixth grade 1-week expedition backpacking program. Our upper camp at Windy Peak, which is our original site, will be our host the 7th to 8th grade 2-week program and the 9th through 11th 2-week leadership training program. And the new program that we chatted about, educators in training and adventure education interns, will be kind of sprinkled throughout both locations to provide support. So I'm going to go ahead and turn over the presentation to our brand new directors, who will give a little info about themselves and a little deeper dive into the programs they are leading.
Cool. Hi everyone, my name is Rightor. I'm the new director at Mount Evans, and I'm thrilled to be part of the Avid team. I know we're really excited about what we're going to be doing at Mount Evans with the 4 different programs that we're going to be running there. A little bit about me. I was born and bred in Boston, and have now flown and relocated to Colorado to join the Avid team. I'm thrilled about it. I've been a camp administrator for the past 8 years, both as a director of multiple camps, both boys, girls camps, and co-ed camps as well. So I know a lot of the format of what we're going to be doing at Mount Evans is familiar to me, and being able to concentrate on my personal passion of outdoor core sports is going to make this summer unbelievable. So I'm really thrilled of what we're going to be able to do for your kids this summer. So let's go over the programs. So the first program we have, brand new to this year, is our Intro to Overnight Camp for our first graders. So for the little guys, we're going to be able to have them at camp for a shorter stay and get them used to the comforts of staying overnight, building that independence outside of camp, and really kind of working, building their comfort away from home. And that way they get to participate in activities, they get to build new friends, and they get to then create a foundation to then work through our program. Moving on and up to our second and fourth graders begins our 1-week session. And this is really about getting more comfortable, being away from home, exploring the outdoors, going more in depth into our core sports, and really kind of continuing off from our intro program for our first graders and continuing that on into a real full week program that we have here on camp. So some of the differentiating activities we have are horseback riding, whitewater rafting, and they get to do a 1-night expedition right on site. We'll have 540 acres to explore. So they'll get to have right on site and be able to, sleep under the stars, be able to tell stories around the campfire, and enjoy a lot of those classic traditional camp activities you and I know and love. And then moving on up to our 4th and 6th graders, really begins our traditional 2-week program. So this is, now there's more an emphasis on teamwork, communication, and they start working on a service project as well as participate within the 2 weeks on their own 3-day expedition right on site, or not on site, but around the area. So they'll do service project, they'll also participate in their low ropes course, fly fishing, they'll participate in zip lines, that 3-day expedition that I talked about, as well as get familiar with leave no trace training, which is really important as they move throughout the program, begin to do larger expeditions, both here at camp and hopefully later in life. And then one program we're really excited about and brand new to this year too is our expedition backpacking program, which is a 1-week intensive on backpacking, featuring a 4-day, 3-night expedition, again, which will be in Wyoming this year. It focuses on backcountry skills, leadership, focuses on really how the group dynamic is going to operate in the backcountry, which is great. And that also goes over leave no trace training, given this intensity of the program. So it's going to be a ton of fun. I know Mount Evans, we are stoked about having as many returning staff that we have, as well as all of the being able to take advantage of the new property, beautiful location. I know we'll see Mount Evans peak right from our flagpole every morning. So I'm really excited to be here. And if you have any questions, you can feel free to reach out to me or Ian, and we'll be able to get back to you as soon as you can. So without further ado, moving on up and over to Windy Peak, here is Heather.
Hello everyone, my name is Heather. I'm the director at Windy Peak. I'm coming to you from Michigan. I grew up going to camps out there and fell in love with camp as a kid, and then came on staff when I was in college. And that's really when things changed for me, of seeing the value of what we're doing, that it wasn't just a fun summer job. There's really purpose in loving on kids and helping to build up the next generation. So I have worked with middle schoolers and high schoolers for the past 10 years in the camping industry, and so I'm pumped to work with that age group here at Avid and bring that specialty. And so to jump in the programs we have at Windy Peak, our 7th and 8th graders will go for 2 weeks, and they will do kind of the same progression you saw at Mount Evans, but we step it up a notch. So they will do new things like tree climbing. They will do a peak ascent when they're out on their backpacking trip. They do a 5-day trip, again, where they're learning those leave no trace principles. And they'll also try other new things like sailing, and they have a solo trip. So they will be, during their expeditions, they'll be out where they are, they feel like they are alone, but their staff are still nearby so they can help them. But imagine your 7th and 8th graders, if you've ever taken a car ride with them and they're on their phone the whole time. Imagine them having to unplug and to really just be quiet with themselves and to think and start learning those skills of reflecting. I think it's going to be huge for them. So that's our 7th and 8th grade program. And then we have our high school program. And so this is, again, when we start to progress them into leaders, like Ian was saying, that we want to build an experience that we can take a 1st grader all the way up until a college student and begin formating skills in them. And so these guys will do things like service projects like the younger kids will do. But Eric and I are working on a plan right now to potentially even bring them to the younger camp to help teach some of those younger kids and the core sports that they love. They too will do a solo trip. They will do a peak ascent and a 6-day backpacking trip. So again, we're really working on giving them some chances to lead and to practice those skills. So I too will be around. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to help you, and we'd love to see you at camp this summer.
All right, great. So we'll jump into some of the logistics, more of the kind of frequently asked questions that parents do have. And again, I see some questions coming in. So if anything pops into your head, please type it down there in the bottom, and we'll go ahead and address those towards the end. But the parent experience, it's really important to note that camp is not just for the camper. It is for the parents as well. We want you to experience as much as possible. There's so much transformative things happening with your child. We want you to be a part of it. So there are a couple of ways that we really want to keep you connected throughout the session. So one is through our photos home. So every group has a GoPro camera as well as a digital camera. And every evening, right about dinner time, we upload 1,000 or more photos daily, every single day of the session. So we want to give you an opportunity to come home after a long day at work, and sit down and just see the smiles on your kids' faces and really be up to date on what they're doing. So whether they're climbing or biking, boating, things like that. In addition to that, you get multiple weekly updates or multiple emails per week that update you on what your child's group is doing, what their cabin is doing, if there's something special that happened at camp, anything like that. So you can really, know from what's going on from kind of what the director's perspectives are, as well as looking at the photos, and you have some great materials to chat with your kiddo about on the way home or when you see them for the first time. Our directors are always accessible by phone and email at all times. Camp is a 24-hour-a-day job for us. So we're there, and whether it's an early morning phone call or late night email, we'll be sure to make sure it's addressed right away and you're as comfortable as possible being away from home. You do have the option to send in care packages that are delivered to your child, as well as sending in emails. So we'll print those off and distribute those to your child as well. We do encourage writing letters home. It doesn't happen with every child, but we do encourage that. And so we do provide paper and pencil, stamps and envelopes and things like that. We get those mailed out as quickly as possible. And then one last opportunity to bring a bit of camp for those families who are a little bit nervous, or the child is a little bit nervous, is hosting a house party. So very popular, and we do come into your home and give about an hour and a half presentation. You get to meet some of the staff, ask questions. We really focus down on the grade levels that you're interested in. And again, just a way to bring a little bit of into your home. So the essentials. These are really the top questions that parents ask me. So health is always top of mind for parents as well as for us. So we do have a very nice health clinic at each location, very spacious and private, clean and comfortable, fully stocked and supplied. We have an on-call physician, nurse consultant, in addition to a 24-hour-a-day RN at both locations, in addition to clinic assistants. And all medication and everything is distributed and stored there. So when I was a camper, like all the meds would be, the nurse would push them around the dining hall so everyone knows what everyone's taken. And those days are gone. So it's all private, and we do our best to make sure that it's private. And kids are not embarrassed if they're taking certain medications, things like that. So a little bit of our nurse. So the food is a really, really awesome part of camp, and we're super excited for it. We have a really great dining hall manager who's been with us for several years. It's just award-winning, healthy, and kid-friendly. We accommodate all sorts of dietary needs and restrictions and allergies, and we do provide for kiddos each session 3 different menus: a main menu, a gluten-free menu, and a vegetarian menu. So there are options for every sort of eater out there. And if your child is one of those really, really picky eaters, we'll work with them to make sure that they do get the food. Because we are at 9,000 feet kind of running around, so we want to make sure that they're getting fueled. And this is one of those areas where peer pressure is awesome, because they may not want to eat the food, but they look across the table and their cabin mates are wolfing it down, shoving it into their mouth. And so they'll give it a shot, and more often than not, we'll get phone calls or emails from parents saying, my child never ate red sauce before, but now they love it. Can I have the recipe type of thing? And that's always an option for you guys. So what you're looking at is kind of a draft or a menu. Sorry, we are drafting our 2017 menu now, but a menu from last year. Kind of difficult to read, I apologize, but you can find sample menus, the gluten-free, vegetarian, and main menus on our website, so avid4.com. But you can kind of see the food that we include is not your school cafeteria food. It's not dining hall food. It's really creative, fun foods. So lots of organic foods, lots of fresh fruit, vegetables. We only serve milk and water as our drinks. We do have a fresh fruit and granola bar at every breakfast, and a salad bar that's available at every single lunch and dinner. And it's really all you can eat, so kids definitely never go hungry at all. So the facilities, so 2 facilities are Windy Peak, located in Bailey, but 220 acres. Our original facility, in Mount Evans in Evergreen, about 540 acres. Both have centrally located bathhouses, in-cabin restrooms, private shower stalls, heating and air in every cabin. And we are licensed by the state of Colorado as a child care facility and accredited through the American Camp Association. So again, these maps are a little difficult to read, but this is a very basic map of Windy Peak, and you can find these on the website as well. So you can kind of take a look at all the activities, all the cabin layouts, where the dining hall is, things like that. Here's a map of the Mount Evans location as well. So again, please check out the website so a little more clear, and you can see where all the different activities and things happen. And then the last question we get from folks is, what is the weather like? And the weather is fantastic. It's one of the great things about living in the mountains in the summertime. So you're typically, your days are in the 80s. At Mount Evans. The potential for snow does occur, and we've had snow during the summer. We get some afternoon thunderstorms and rain, but it really lasts like 15 minutes. So it'll be a beautiful blue sky, and then it'll turn dark, and we get downpours for 15 minutes, and then it's back to a blue sky again. And it's important to note that we want to build kids' abilities to be outdoors and live beyond expectations and the grit that they lost. So if it's raining, they still recreate and participate in the activities throughout the rain. If it's lightning and kind of severe, then we definitely go indoors. But we want them to realize that, like, being wet is okay. Being wet is cool. And so if they're at home and they're playing outdoors and it starts to rain, we don't want them to run back inside and play Xbox. We want them to be out there and realize, like, it's cool. It's part of nature. So what you're looking at is kind of a typical day at camp. And this day was about 5 minutes before a downpour hit. You could see clouds coming in, and we stayed out there during our, I think this was some sort of ceremony, flag ceremony, and then it passed, and then we went on with our day. So we're kind of wrapping up here. I want to save the last couple minutes here for questions. So again, if you do have questions, please go ahead and type those in, and I see a few down there. But just really important to note that we are now in an early bird discount through February 28th. So really, it's your last opportunity to save a little bit of money. So you would save $70 per session using the code CMCSAVE upon checkout. And this is in addition to any other kind of discounts that are available, such as like a sibling discount type thing. We do offer payment plans for CMC, so everything is not paid up front all at once, and so you could pay a deposit to hold your spot, which I really, really do encourage you. We were sold out last year with almost 200 kids on a waiting list, and so we want to make sure that you get your spot or your first shot at whatever week that you're planning your vacations around and schedules around, things like that. So reserving your spot today really does avoid being on that wait list. So thank you again so much for taking time today. Like, we'll go ahead and answer some questions right now. But in the meantime, like, if you had any additional thoughts, questions, concerns, something you wanted to chat about kind of more in depth offline, absolutely shoot us an email, give us a phone call, set up a house party, and we would love to chat with you, make you feel as comfortable as possible in sending your child away. It's such an honor and a great privilege that you are considering Avid for Adventure for your children. So I'll pass it off to our directors here, and we'll start answering some questions.
Cool. Hey, everyone. So we'll start reading through some. Looks like Yvonne, in the video there was swimming, canoeing, paddleboarding, horseback riding, archery, sailing, camping, rock climbing, rope climbing. Is that all included for the 11-year-olds? So we do a lot of those programs for the 11-year-olds. You'd be right there at Mount Evans. And we do a lot of those programs right on site. So some of them we do reserve for some of the older guys. I think,
Sailing.
Yeah, sailing, that would be up at Windy Peak. So being for 11-year-olds, they're right on the cusp of graduating up to Windy Peak, so they'd be able to be sailing up there. But the rest of those, from rope climbing to camping, archery, horseback riding, paddleboarding, all of that will be done right on site with Mount Evans. And I got the chance to go check out the site and been there a few times. It's beautiful. So you can get ready to do all that. Yeah, so absolutely. That sounds great. All right, Sam, you had a question. Are the grade levels listed for grades the kids have completed or entering the following fall? Great question. So the answer there is what grade they are entering into, as opposed to what they just completed. So that kind of gives you the spectrum as to which location they're going to be at. You want to take the next one?
Yeah. So Jenny, you asked about adults being in the cabins. For all age groups, first grade included, there are adults in the cabins. So we have a ratio of 6 to 1, 6 campers to 1 adult. So your kids should never be without supervision. And their cabins are same gender cabins as well.
Yeah.
All
Awesome.
right.
And Andy McAvoy, it would be our second grader's first time at overnight camp. Excellent. Great to hear. Just curious to know a little bit more about how things like being scared, homesick, or handled? That's a great question. I know we spend a lot of time during our staff training going over homesickness and making sure that kids are feeling comfortable. And that's a huge part about camp. You know, a lot of kids go through homesickness when they get here to camp. And it really, by building the framework with our staff in terms of supplying direct support, that's why we keep our ratios small so we can apply that direct attention to each camper, as well as making sure that we're inclusive about our activities, creating opportunities. I like to call them creating wins every single day for campers, whether they're big, small, whether it's topping out on a rock wall or just getting on the rock wall. Being able to build those successes for those kids builds the confidence and comfort while they're away from home. You know, if there are situations where we need to maintain communication, absolutely we're going to do so to try to work with you. If we can't handle it ourselves, which we have many techniques. I know this will be my 20th summer at overnight camp, you know, and being able to work with a variety of resources that we have, Ian and all that, but also maintaining communication to our families too, to let you know what we're doing, what we're planning on going on, and how we can continue to work with your child while they're here at camp. Great question.
Yeah. And one of our favorite phrases here at camp is challenge by choice. So your kids are all going to come in at different levels of experience, and we're A-okay with that. And so we will really meet your kids where they're at, and they get to choose what is the goal for this activity. So maybe I've never rock climbed before, and I just want to put a harness on and get strapped in and maybe get my feet off the ground. That's okay. Maybe they've been rock climbing since they were in diapers, and they want to get to the top and they want the next step. So maybe we're helping them learn how to set anchors or helping teach the younger kids. So there is that kind of balance. So I know we had questions about horseback riding and things like that.
Yeah, and Jenny, I know I got your follow-up. It is a full week program for those second graders, the second through fourth program. So absolutely, they would just have a few extra days here at camp, and who wouldn't want that? It's a lot of fun. Cool.
Yvonne. So you asked about house parties. So
awesome.
House parties are great. So a house party is you open your home and invite some friends you think that might be interested in CMC, and we'll show up. We'll give a presentation similar to this. We'll bring some snacks, things like that. And we just want to meet your friends and talk about what might work well for their kids. If we've had people have hosted that have had past experience, they can share what they've seen in their child. But we'll come, and sometimes our staff will come with us just to provide some more information as well as answer questions, much like we're doing now.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I know we love to do it, so it's great. Yeah, Andy, you're welcome. Thank you. And
Yvonne.
Yeah, Yvonne.
Weeks for entering 6th graders. Yep, so you would be the last year program at Mount Evans here with Eric.
Yeah.
The 4th through 6th grade program, and it is a 2-week program, or they could do the 1-week backpacking extensive as well.
Yep. So sounds good. Any other questions? We're here to answer them. I know if you have any others, you can feel free to reach out. I know as Ian said, you can reach out to us anytime. I know we see some people are starting to type. We're available. We'll hang out for another few minutes here if you have that. Where do we call you, Eric, if we have questions? Oh, awesome. Well, you can call me if you go right on the Avid website. You'll be able to find my phone number right there, and then you can just be able to reach out anytime, and we can chat individually. I'd love to. That sounds like fun. Yeah. Cool. So we're really excited. I know this is, our first year here at Avid. I know we've been passionate outdoor enthusiasts for our whole lives. So being able to pass along these sports to you and your kids and your families and making this part of their lives, not only here at camp, but for the rest of their time, that's why we're here. We love this sort of work, and we're thrilled to be working with Ian and all of our staff about what we're doing. So. We see one other question coming through.
Jenny, we don't want to forget about you.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, if you look on our website, there is a page for each age group that we talked about. And on that page, you can look at what dates are available, what the pricing is. And again, if you wanted to read what activities they do, it's all listed right there. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to work with you individually. But yeah, you can find out definitely more information online.
And thank you, Yvonne. We appreciate the professional kudos. It's always very nice. Anytime. So, great. If you have anything else, feel free to reach out to us. We're psyched this summer. I hope you guys are too. And we want to make sure you guys are pumped for the summer as much as we are. So, thanks so much. And we'll see you around.
Great. So we're wrapping up. As mentioned from the two directors, super excited. If you do have any last-minute thoughts or questions, feel free to check out our website, or you can email info@avid4.com, or just give us a phone call and they'll connect you. So again, we want to make sure that you're as comfortable as possible. You get all your questions answered. And there are quite a few comments on house parties. We love, love, love doing the house parties. And if you go to avid4.com, on the drop-down menu for CMC, you will see a link to the webinars and house parties where you can sign up for them. And so we have limited space for it. But again, you invite your friends, family, neighbors, coworkers to come down for a pretty informal. We bring food and drinks, we entertain the kids, we have a good time, and really a little bit of camp is brought into your home. So thank you so much again for taking the opportunity and time out of your day here. Additional questions, shoot them over our way, but super psyched to welcome you all to the Avid for Adventure family. So thank you so much. Have a great day.